Hey everyone, happy Friday. It is time for another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So another quiet day in the shop here by myself all day. Ignore that small two-stroke motorcycle driving by. Anyway, so yeah, I once again worked on the 52 here that we are taking from hot rod to stock rod. I don't know, is that even a word? Anyway, putting it back to stock. And yeah, I got some momentum here, so I just kept working on it. I will be working tomorrow, Saturday, for part of a day. And I think I'm going to put a rebuilt Bosch starter in the Devil bus and see what happens. So stay tuned for that tomorrow. Hopefully the bus doesn't murder me while I'm changing the starter, but it would not be a surprising end to this whole saga. Anyway, let's talk about this guy. So yeah, I was kind of all over this car today, just doing a little electrical, little brakes, little mechanical stuff. So let's just, I guess, go kind of in order of what I did here. So those of you that follow the channel have probably noticed that the rear tail lights are back on. I went ahead and put in 6-volt bulbs in those. I had to fix the bulb holder on this side, which had kind of come apart, so I had to resolder the actual bulb holder to the bracket part of it, if that makes sense. When I was taking it apart, it just like broke. I think it was barely held on there. Anyway, so I got that on there. It ain't going nowhere now. So yeah, these two pups here have 6-volt bulbs. That guy's got a 6-volt bulb. And up in front here, let's see if this thing cooperates there. There we go. So up in front, I swapped out all of the dash bulbs to 6-volt. And I was going to do his headlights. I have the 6-volt globes that go in here. These are the European style, so not a seal beam, but like a globe that has high and low. And then there's a tiny light in there that's the city light, parking light, whatever you want to call it. And Wolfsburg West accidentally sent me the wrong ones. They sent the much larger ones, which work on a later car that has a seal beam, and then the little city light sits kind of in the bottom of the bucket. On these, the city light sits in the bulb holder that holds the main headlight, if that makes sense. So anyway, didn't get to those, but those bulbs will be here on Monday. So then I'll swap out the two headlight bulbs. And then I think the only other bulb left is probably the anemic little dome light there. So I don't know if any of you who have seen a dome light on a split window Beetle, it is pure uselessness. It's way back there and it's super dim, even with, like a fully charged 6-volt battery and good connections. It just doesn't do a hell of a lot. So I can kind of see why they moved it to up in here. These actually work pretty good. I mean, you can kind of see what you're doing in a later car, which has the dome light up here. Those, I don't know, I think they're almost there for comedic relief. They're about as useless, maybe more so than windshield wipers on these early cars. But yeah, anyway, long story short, I need to put the 6-volt bulb in that thing still. And I think that is it, electrical wise, as far as converting the car back to 6 volts. So I did all that. I did also install his original shifter. So remember, this car had a Geenberg locking shifter in it. Now it has a proper split window shifter with a cool dimple knob on it. Super cool. Love the feel of these with a little dimple. I don't know why when I shift mine I like to stick my thumb right there. I don't know if that's what that dimple's supposed to be for, but that's kind of how I grip mine. So yeah, stock shifter is back in, and I connected the coupler back there. I still need to safety wire it, but it's in, and feels like it goes through its gears. So who knows? We'll find out, I guess, when we try and drive it. So that's all in. And let's see what else I did. So, one more electrical thing. I did also put the license plate light bulb and the third brake light bulb in the Pope's nose, which is that thing that sort of sits here on the deck lid. So yeah, those also have their 6-volt bulbs in them. Moving on, or continuing on, I guess the mechanical things here. I was just talking about the shifter. So I did install his master cylinder, which I finally got from the folks at what the heck are these guys called? Sierra Madre Collection. So Porsche guys, it's the exact same part, and the price wasn't too bad. So yeah, the Porsche, early Porsche master cylinder and the early VW one, it's the same part. And so they were, Wolfsburg West was out of them. What makes this one more special than later Beetle ones is that it's got a screw-in reservoir. So pop this dust cap off. See the threads in there? Yeah, and so that's the same thing 356 Porsches had. So Wolfsburg West was out of these, so I ordered it from the Porsche guys. So there. Also had to make a new line. So this one and the one that goes to the other side. It had lines in there, but trying to make them fit this master cylinder versus the big old dual circuit one, they would have just been all mangled looking and ugly, especially this one. So I just started over with new ones. The one that I did reuse is this one that runs to the back of the car, because I don't want to pull a new brake line all the way to the back of this car. It's one of my least favorite things to do on Volkswagens is this brake line right here. So anyway, yeah, a little elbow grease, and I formed this one to fit the port here. All the ports coming off the same, so this is single circuit. So yeah, so this is in all tightened down. I left a wrench there. So that's that. Let's see. And then with that, I went ahead and connected the front brake hoses. So the front brakes, again, are all done. I haven't adjusted them yet, but they're all hooked up to the master cylinder now and everything. So moving on to the back, I did get in the springs and stuff that I needed today. So I put in these little springs here that help hold the brake shoes toward the backing plate so they're not sort of flopping around like this. And then replace these bottom springs here with new ones from the kit. So yeah, these are done now. Obviously I still need the drums, but the brakes themselves are done. And the other thing that finished that off was actually forming the hard lines that go from the flexible hose here that allows the axle to do its thing, and running those over to the wheel cylinders there. So you can see them kind of coming out here, and then they sort of run around the front of the shock and then up to there. So took me a while to figure out routing for those lines that I was happy with, but I think it looks pretty clean now that it's done. So yeah, back brakes are done too, so that's kind of a big deal. Basically all the brakes are done on this car now. It's just a matter of putting on the master cylinder reservoir once I get it sealed, putting some drums on the back, and then it should just be a matter of bleeding them. So pretty big accomplishment here, I guess, as far as getting all those done. Had to kind of source parts from here and there and so on. Speaking of the reservoir, super cool. So the early cars, again, screw-on reservoir. So this is a gland nut right here that screws in from inside the cylinder, and then it's got this huge lid on it. And so yeah, this sits right on top of the master cylinder. So unlike slightly later Beetles where the reservoir was remote and sort of easy to get to, so as you guys know, on most Beetles, what you're used to seeing is the reservoir is sitting up here in this little area behind the spare tire. On splits, it was in the highly inconvenient location right there, where in order to check the fluid or whatever, you had to pull this wheel off. And then since it was a metal, I don't even know how you would check it. I guess you'd have to have a dipstick or something, because being a metal reservoir, you can't even see it from the side to see if it has fluid in it. I guess you'd have to stick your finger down in it or something. I can't imagine. So that's actually an improvement that they made, was putting the reservoir up here where you can easily see it and check the level and fill it as needed. Usually I like the way they did things on the older cars, the older the better, but this one's fairly inconvenient as far as keeping track of that, and heaven forbid, adding fluid to it. Super awkward up underneath there, because again, the gas tank is like right above that. So, I think that's pretty much it, guys, for today. So, yeah, that's what I got done on this one today. Just keeping it moving forward here. Still trying to hunt down some parts for this, but other than that, and ordered a few parts for that guy to keep it moving forward. So anyway, that is it for today, guys. Appreciate you watching. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, please, if you like our content, and give us a thumbs up if you like our content, all that good stuff. For those of you that are interested in merchandise, still working on it. I've got some samples coming in the mail soon, probably like early next week. And once I see those and I'm happy with them, then I'll go ahead and open up the Vintage Classic Specialist merchandise shop with things like coffee mugs and t-shirts and tank tops and all that kind of fun stuff. So anyway, with that, I will see you guys again tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye.